Hey. Welcome to the Biochem Breakdown, the podcast where we cram all the science you'll need to ace your finals, and maybe impress your lab partner while you're at it. I'm your host, Professor Molecule, your guide through the wild, wacky world of biochemistry. Ready to dive in? We're talking about the intricate systems that make life possible, from the smallest atoms to the macromolecules that make you, you. We'll break down complex processes into bite-sized pieces, so you can walk into that exam room feeling like a certified science whiz. Grab your goggles, folks, because it's time to bond over some chemistry. Get it? Bond? Chemistry? You'll laugh later. Alright, future scientists, let's kick things off with the basics. Chemistry. Now, chemistry is a bit like a giant school cafeteria with two main groups hanging out: inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry is the study of non-carbon compounds. Think of them as the sturdy, reliable elements of the world, metals like shiny gold and shimmering silver, or salts like the stuff you sprinkle on your fries. Important? Absolutely. Exciting? Well, not exactly the life of the party. That's where organic chemistry comes in. Organic chemistry is all about carbon, the element that's basically the lifeblood of, well, life itself. It's found in everything from the sugars that give you an energy boost, to the proteins that build your muscles. So, if it's got carbon, it's organic and fair game for our biochemical breakdown. If it doesn't, it's still vital, but we'll leave it for another episode. Think about it this way. Water, inorganic; carbohydrates, organic; pizza, deliciously, undeniably organic. Now let's take a trip down to the microscopic level, where the real action happens. The atom. Atoms are like the itty-bitty Lego bricks that make up everything around us. They're so small you could fit millions of them on the period at the end of this sentence. Each atom has a nucleus at its core, which is home to two types of particles, protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged, kind of like tiny bundles of sunshine, while neutrons have no charge, they're just chill like that. Whizzing around the nucleus are electrons, negatively charged particles that are constantly on the move. They're like those hyperactive puppies that just can't seem to sit still, constantly zipping around the atom in a blur of energy. Now, these subatomic particles, as tiny as they are responsible for literally everything we see and experience. From the colors of a rainbow, to the taste of your favorite food, it all boils down to the interactions between these tiny particles. Yes, even your bad hair days can be blamed on them. It's all thanks to static electricity, which is caused by the transfer of, you guessed it, electrons. Atoms, despite being tiny powerhouses, are actually quite social creatures. They don't like to be alone, so they form bonds with each other, kind of like making friends, or at least acquaintances. One way they do this is through ionic bonds, where electrons are exchanged faster than concert tickets on a sold-out tour. It's all about achieving a stable state, you see. Atoms with a near-empty outer shell will donate an electron to an atom with a nearly full one. The result? Both atoms become ions, one positively charged and the other negatively charged, and opposites, as we know, attract. Then there are covalent bonds, where atoms decide to share electrons, much like siblings begrudgingly sharing a delicious dessert. They're the more egalitarian of the bond types, fostering a sense of cooperation and sharing within the molecule. Water, for instance, is the ultimate sharer thanks to its polar covalent bonds. The oxygen atom, being a bit of an electron hog, ends up with a slightly negative charge, while the two hydrogen atoms are left feeling a bit positive. It's kind of like an unfair group project, but hey, that's chemistry for you. Chapter 4: Water, the liquid superhero. Speaking of water, this humble molecule is more than just a thirst quencher. It's practically a superhero in the world of chemistry, with special powers that make life on Earth possible. One of water's superpowers is its cohesiveness. Water molecules are like those super close best friends who are always arm in arm. They stick together, forming a united front against, well, everything. This cohesiveness creates surface tension, allowing those daring water striders to walk on water like tiny ninjas. But wait, there's more. Water is also adhesive, meaning it loves to cling to other substances. This is how plants manage to pull water up from their roots all the way to their leaves, defying gravity with the power of capillary action. And if that wasn't enough, water has an insanely high specific heat. That means it takes a lot of energy to raise or lower its temperature. This is why your fish tank stays relatively cozy, even when the weather outside is doing its best roller coaster impression. Oh, and let's not forget about ice. When water freezes, its molecules spread out, making ice less dense than liquid water. That's why ice floats, creating a protective layer over lakes and oceans in the winter, and ensuring that aquatic life can keep on swimming even when it's freezing outside. Seriously, water is amazing. Life as we know it wouldn't exist without its unique set of superpowers. Chapter 5. The Big Four Macromolecules, the VIPs of life. Now get ready for the main event, macromolecules. These are the VIPs of the biochemical world, the movers and shakers, the big kahunas. We're talking about carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. First up, carbohydrates, the energy bars of life. These molecules are all about that carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen life, and they're here to fuel your every move. Simple carbs like glucose are like that sugar rush you get from a candy bar. Quick energy, but fleeting. Complex carbs, like starch, are more like the slow burn of a campfire, providing sustained energy to power your day. Pro tip, always bring carbs to a study session. Next we have lipids, also known as fats. These nonpolar molecules are like the body's energy savings account, storing energy long-term for those rainy, or should I say hungry, days. They also provide insulation, keeping your cells cozy and waterproof with their lipid bilayer membranes. And let's not forget their contribution to taste bud satisfaction. Bacon wouldn't be the same without them. Moving on to proteins, the ultimate multitaskers of the cell. These complex molecules are involved in everything from building and repairing tissues to transporting oxygen and fighting off infections. Made up of amino acids linked together like beads on a string, proteins fold into intricate 3D shapes like origami on steroids. And last but certainly not least, we have nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Think of them as the instruction manuals for your cells containing the genetic code that makes you, well, you. DNA is like the master blueprint stored safely in the nucleus, while RNA is like the messenger, carrying out those instructions and making sure everything runs smoothly. Chapter 6. Metabolism. Building up and breaking down to stay alive. Now that we've met the major players, let's talk about how they all work together to keep you alive and kicking. Enter metabolism, the intricate network of chemical reactions happening inside your body right now. Think of your body as a bustling construction site. Metabolism has two main crews, the builders and the demolition team. Anabolism, the master builder, is all about taking small molecules called monomers and linking them together to create larger, more complex molecules called polymers. It's like assembling a giant Lego castle brick by brick. Catabolism, on the other hand, is the demolition crew, breaking down those large polymers back into their smaller, monomer building blocks. It's like that mischievous toddler who comes along and crashes the Lego party, scattering bricks everywhere. But here's the thing, both processes are essential for life. Anabolism builds and maintains your tissues while catabolism provides the energy your body needs to keep going. It's a constant cycle of building up and breaking down, all working in perfect harmony to keep you alive and thriving. Chapter 7. Enzymes, the ultimate biochemical catalysts. Now let's talk about enzymes, the speed demons of the biochemical world. These remarkable proteins are like the ultimate catalysts, speeding up chemical reactions without getting used up in the process. Imagine a crowded room full of people, reactants, who desperately need to find their designated dance partners, products, to start the party. It would take forever for everyone to randomly bump into the right person, right? That's where enzymes come in. They act like those super efficient party planners, bringing the right reactants together at the active site, a specific region on the enzyme that perfectly matches the shape of the reactants. It's a perfect lock and key fit, but here's the catch: enzymes are a bit like Goldilocks. They need everything to be just right to function properly. Too hot? They denature, unfolding and losing their shape like a melted chocolate bar. Too acidic? Same story. Enzymes need that sweet spot of temperature and pH to work their magic. Chapter 8. Photosynthesis. From sunlight to sugar, it's a plant thing. Let's take a quick detour from the human body to explore a vital process that sustains life on Earth: photosynthesis. It's the ultimate energy hack, turning sunlight into chemical energy that powers entire ecosystems. Plants, those green wonders, have figured out how to harness the power of the sun to create their own food. They take in carbon dioxide from the air, water from the soil, and sunlight, and through the magic of photosynthesis they churn out glucose, a sugar that fuels their growth and development. And as a bonus, they release oxygen into the atmosphere, that stuff we need to breathe. The key to this whole process is chlorophyll, a pigment that gives plants their vibrant green hue. Chlorophyll molecules act like tiny solar panels, capturing light energy from the sun and using it to power the conversion of carbon dioxide and water into glucose. It's like a biochemical assembly line, with sunlight providing the energy to run the show. Photosynthesis is a beautiful example of how interconnected life on Earth truly is. Plants, through this remarkable process, form the foundation of most food chains, providing energy for herbivores, carnivores, and even decomposers. Without plants, our planet would be a much different and far less vibrant place. And that's the biochem breakdown. Now you're prepped to crush that final exam. Remember, macromolecules are your friends, water is a superhero, and enzymes just want to help. Think back to all the amazing things we covered. From the tiny world of atoms and their bonding escapades to the superpowers of water and the intricate dance of metabolism. It's enough to make your head spin, but trust me, it's all connected in the grand scheme of life. Catch you next time, and may your bonds be strong and your grades even stronger. Peace.